according to Tom Lee from Fundstrat, he's calling for 16K ETH. He's actually really calling for more. I went in and I looked at a couple clips from the Bankless interview on their podcast, and it was pretty dope, man. He was talking about ETH could be a solid, like one of the best, like Nvidia type plays for the next 10 to 15 years. And even Paul Barron, he was like talking about how early we actually are to Ethereum and how it's like owning like it's like similar to the internet. And I agree. Like I've always said, like having Ethereum and some other blockchains that I really like, but we'll just keep it to Ethereum right now. Is it's like owning a piece of the internet because it like helps run the blockchain. Everybody wants to participate. It's going to continue to, even if it's slow, it's still like a good thing because it's always worked. It's like never broke down. Gas sucks on it. We all know that, but they've been incrementally upgrading, and it's very decentralized, and that's security wise very good for companies like from Wall Street that want to host their stables on there or help secure the network and earn staking. Like Larry Fink, for example, the one of the most powerful individuals in the entire planet, wants to do Ethereum staking. So for his ETS specifically. So that spells a lot of bullish signs for Ethereum to maybe even outperform Bitcoin, not only this year, but maybe even next year. But we'll see. I mean, these are all like hypotheticals, theories. Tom Lee's even calling for Ethereum to maybe even become the number one crypto long term. But again, these all have to play out 10 to 15 years out. He's thinking in decades and not simple like short term years. Um, and I think like whoever can be is the internet of crypto is going to be one of the biggest players, of course, in the entire world. So yeah,
I do think his 16K prediction was in a fairly short time frame, though. Like I think it was like within the next like 12 months.
yeah, I think
Um,
so.
which is still like hyper bullish. And before we actually like play the clip, if you guys haven't seen it, we'll play it in just a minute. One of the things he brought up was, by the way, Tom Lee is a financial analyst for it's Fun Strat. I forgot the full name of the company. I don't have it in front of me right now. But big time Wall Street guy who like people who in traditional finance typically respect. And they basically, one of the things that he brought up when making this prediction was basically if we went back to all-time highs of 2021 of what do you call it when it's compared to Bitcoin? What's that chart?
The
The
dominance.
BTCD? Yeah, the dominance. If dominance was back at the same levels as 2021, ETH would be 16K right now. That was one of the things that he argued in his clip on CNBC. But there's a lot of ifs there. Like we do have a lot more institutional adoption. I mean, we show the inflows pretty much every week. We could show them again today. Like there's billions of dollars coming in to Ethereum. So that kind of solidifies his case a little bit. But also there's a lot more competitors now versus the 2021. Like 2021, it was basically Bitcoin ETH. And then like you had like, Doge or like you did have Avalanche. Like I know there's a lot of things there, Polkadot, but it was mainly like Bitcoin and ETH. Like those were the two top dogs. Now I feel like with more people being on chain, a lot more people than in 2021, it is a little bit more like people are stretched out. So I do feel like dominance compared to one other token, like again comparing Bitcoin and ETH, is a little hard metric to use right now because there's so many other options. But
Yeah, I think from his perspective, he's looking at it. Bitcoin, he still thinks Bitcoin's going to obviously do well, even possibly. I think he said $1 million like long run, but I think he's looking at Ethereum more like the internet of like that's going to underpin a lot of financial institutions, and it's going to be good either way. Honestly, like if you're an altcoin maxi, and maybe you're a retail investor, that's good for us because altcoins are going to pump like irregardless because when you have like the two dominant players in Bitcoin and Ethereum, especially Ethereum going up, that's like a bullish signal for altcoins. And there's a lot of good beta plays out there, like even Arbitrum, that is a good beta play for Ethereum. Its market cap's a lot lower. That's a good opportunity. Even freaking Robinhood's using Arbitrum and launching their own chain off of Arbitrum. And then,
yep.
yeah, like you said, Avalanche is off, obviously like a little bit more techy, but for businesses, it makes a lot of sense to use Avalanche because you can own your own layer one. So I think a lot of businesses are going to naturally want to have their own layer one. They'll be still multi-chain. Multi-chain is the future, but I think that Avalanche makes a lot of sense to be like that home base of where your own layer one is at. So I think they're going to be one of the like clear winners. Like, and it might take a couple years for them to be like a top clear winner and be known like mainstream. But that those are all good options for sure. And there's other good options too. Like obviously Solana can't be you can't like mention all this stuff without Solana as well. So
Yeah. Our guy
but
Ryan Weaver in the chat
Hyperliquid,
giving some waves.
yo, what up, Ryan? What up? What up? What up? Oh, I took it down. There he is. So yeah, we are also live on Kick too. So we're testing the waters over there, and it's been pretty good for a lot of crypto streamers. So be sure to hit us over there on Kick to give us some support. That'd be much appreciated. But yeah, man, do we want to roll those clips of Mr.
Yeah,
Tom Lee, and then
let's go ahead and roll those clips.
we'll roll on over to Hyperliquid, taking a lot of like market share away from top dominant players like Solana.
Yep. Let's
Oh,
check it. Let me know if you can hear it fine.
here we go. Yeah, you got a screen share on this one. On this screen, Chris, we got to get Chris.
Huge.
Oh wait, how do you get us on the side? Like this. There we
There we
go.
go. We're close enough.
But then this is like not big enough. How do you make
Let's
it
just
bigger?
I can here. Oh, what the heck?
Oh wait, here we go.
There we go. We're
Hey,
there. We're there.
learning on the fly,
Soaring
baby.
up. GM Duke, GM. So this is what Tom Lee had to say. Let me know. Give me a thumbs up if you can hear it, Kyle.
Cents to $1 worth of
Yeah,
every day.
turned it up though.
Interesting. I mean, when I think about strategy, it is really it's the whale in the Bitcoin market just because they have been buying up so much Bitcoin. So if Bitmine is taking a similar approach to Ethereum, where do you see prices for Ether going?
Well, I looked at some research from Sean Farrell, who's our head of digital asset strategy, and he put out a presentation about Ethereum today. So he thinks the ratio of Ethereum to Bitcoin could go back to its 2021 highs, which is about 0.14. That would value Ethereum today at around 16,000, and it's currently 3,700. So he's just saying Bitcoin ratio versus ETH, let's get back to where it was 5 years ago, which makes sense because it's a better story today than it was in 2021, and that gets you, close to 16,000. So it's adding about 80 cents to $1 worth.
It's undervalued, basically.
Yeah, it's undervalued if you take the dominant scale. But that's just from this single argument. Like obviously, there's a lot more. Don't you have a separate clip from Bankless?
Yeah. Let's go ahead and roll that. But let me see if you can hear this first.
I think the upside case for ETH is actually high.
All right, let me crank the volume on this baddie. Camera's in the way.
Then let's say I think the upside case for ETH is actually higher than, let's say, Bitcoin did 100x. Could Ethereum do 100x? I think that could happen because there is probably a significant probability that Ethereum could flip Bitcoin as well in terms.
Dude, a lot of statements right there, man. And this is Bankless, so this is directly speaking to crypto people.
They could have lived without the emotion soundtrack in the back.
Look at their faces when he says that, though. They're like, dang, man, yeah. Like what? But yeah, this is on the Bankless pod. So shout out to the Bankless crew. But let's go ahead and continue to roll the clip and see if we can capture. Or I think he finishes this little statement.
The network value.
Tom, welcome back to Bankless.
Well, I guess that's kind of it. I mean, we could go in. This thing's like an hour long, so we're not gonna roll all of that. But yeah, pretty crazy stuff, man. So he's talking about this being early, how Ethereum could be the next like big play for like literally 10 to 15 years. I like that time horizon a lot better than the short-term prediction stuff. I think that's pretty exciting. I do think Ethereum's going to perform really well, especially if the SEC's ruling, like they just ruled the other day, like, hey, Ethereum like liquid staking in Solana, like that doesn't fall under our purview, and so that's going to be pretty much like getting wrapped up here pretty soon. All that's really needed is like those final approvals for like liquid staking for ETFs as well. Dude, once that happens, like, and then you have these 401ks like being locked in, adding part of people's 401ks, like, dude, that's powerful. Powerful, powerful stuff. You're talking about unlocking the entire US economy, um, like literally connecting that into plugging that into crypto, the top coins. Especially like American coins that like the on the US charts. Like I think those will do really well. Like there's a whole list on like Coin Market Cap of US made coins.
This is the actual statement from the SEC talking about the liquid staking, and basically just the first line's highlighted. And this division view that liquid staking activities, as defined below, is connecting with protocol staking, do not involve the offer and sell of securities. So just making sure I have this right. This is basically just saying like where if there's any sort of fear about staking for passive income, like the SEC saying it's cool, you can do that.
Yeah, basically. I mean, it's just like one step short of them saying like it's a green light. So I think they
Yeah.
have to have like a couple final things to say about it and approvals, official approvals. But yeah, it's basically like giving the green light. And so this is like teeing up for a massive like opportunity. So again, we're at the very beginning stages of a huge giant wealth transfer.
Yep.
So yeah, this is like one of these times to be locked in. Um, and like don't lose sight because this is like one of the most important times in history right now happening before our eyes.
Yeah, also, if liquid staking is legal, then you'll be able to. There was the other thing about being able to stake through your ETFs as well. Like that's going to go hand in hand. So people are going to be able to stake through ETF investments. I don't
Right.
know, man. I just like so I sent this to my financial advisor, who's like not anti crypto, but he's also not like pro crypto. He's like he might even be listening to this. I sent him one of our previous podcasts, but he was asking me for like use case, like why should he care about crypto? And this was actually I sent him this, and his response was like, well, there's other things that offer yield. I actually was like super busy and I couldn't get back with him after that. But like I don't know if there's anything comparable in traditional finance that offers you this kind of yield. With like if you take in like the risk and the yield, like there's no dividends that are going to pay you
Right.
4% on top of being a growth dividend as well, right?
Yeah.
Like there like you're getting the growth stock and you're getting the high dividend stock, but you're getting a
Both.
very high version of both.
Right.
And in my opinion, right? Like I don't am I wrong on that? Like it's been since like 2020 since I've really been into stocks, but like
Yeah.
yeah,
I
I
mean,
just
all you like, all you're gonna have to do is hold those ETFs, and then like BlackRock once if for example like BlackRock's pushing the SEC to unlock this staking because like that is going to drive value back to their ETF holders. So all an ETF holder needs to do is just hold their ETF, and they get the benefits of BlackRock securing the network while they just hold an ETF. So they get the upside of Ethereum going up. They get the upside of like the staking, and then they get the upside of just the growth in general from the ETF, like you said. So there's like three big solid upsides. The only downside is over time this getting over leveraged in the short term dips, but being that we're so early, like this is pretty significant. Like this is very, very bullish. And if you want a cheat sheet, you can actually hop on over to CoinGecko. They actually have a top made in USA coins by market cap. A lot of these will end up having ETFs, and some already do, like Solana and some other ones. I know Avalanche. I think Hedera's even been mentioned. Chainlink's been mentioned in a White House paper about crypto. So you can see some of these like US made coins. I think some of these top like 10 or whatever like are going to do really well. Maybe perhaps not like all of them. Litecoin's just been hanging around for years. It's hilarious.
yeah.
They're kind of like, I don't know if they're actually made in the US. They just say that they were because they can get on this list. So like past protocol or really past Ondo, or actually Aptos has been one of those ones that's been iffy over the years, but just because they had leadership like change ups. But you can see some of them are pretty good. I mean, Pingu, a meme coin, like I think that one's going to continue to do well, just with Luca Nets and what they have going on. But
Dude, I actually think Near has a lot of upside. Like I have 0 of it, but if I was like trying to get exposure to something outside of like the top 10, but in the top 50, like Near like really executes like AI into their blockchain itself. I can't really go into the details because like I don't know all of it, but like at like a 3 billion, is that what it was? Whatever it was, like
Yeah.
compared to some of these others, like I don't know, man. And then it's got the unit bias of only being $2.58. Again, I own 0 of it. I actually own everything above it almost. I own Polkadot, I own Uniswap, I own Avalanche. I don't own any Litecoin, but yeah, we got Buddy saying 100x ETH would be bananas. Here for it. GM dudes, GM Buddy, GM.
GMG.
Sven said, Pingu, damn, I had to buy some. Yeah, I have. Thankfully, I've been having the Diamond Hand my Pingu because it gives you an abstract multiplier for XP. So I've been just kind of like chilling on the multiplier. So like I have no, I'm not going to sell my Pingu. I don't care if it's 5X's right now because I'm using it for the multiplier. Dude, as we're talking right now, you could have kept that up. I'll share mine though, but freaking Ethereum's at 3,800 again, dude. I would love to see it push above 4K on this push. This will be the first 4K push in the 2025. Let's see. No, yeah, wait, hold on. Did it hit 4K? Yeah, this will be the first 4K push in 2025. It hasn't been above 4K since December of 2024. So, and then I mean, what's to stop it if we break through 4K here to, you know, getting
Yeah, I mean,
back
it
into
could.
previous all-time highs?
Yeah, I mean, if it breaks through that, it could be very much in price discovery mode, which
Yeah.
it appears that that could well happen. So, another thing I wanted to share as well is the price prediction market. Oops, I unshared mine, and then okay, there we go. The price prediction market has fluctuated significantly to the upside of that the Fed is almost at 80% chance of a 25 base points decrease. It's fluctuating around 79, 78%. So that's significant. A lot of people think they're going to cut rates early as next month, and then of course October has also skyrocketed. So yeah, a lot of people. I mean, these are pretty good odds, man. Polymarket is usually pretty spot on because people are betting with their money on here. So this is a pretty significant indicator. And Bostic, I think he's like the Atlanta Fed chair, said that like they want to see more data before September but he did say that they in his mind want to cut at least once this year. So yeah, you're starting to see some of these Fed chairs like step up and start talking about rate cuts in a more dovish way. So yeah, this could lead to an eventual, like obviously an altcoin boom. So people that are selling in August, man, you got to stay plugged in, and especially like our podcast where we talk about this stuff, these updates that are happening live like every day. Um, yeah, like these are very important things to pay attention to, because if you sold your altcoins now and next month there's a boom and it like kicks off the golden bull run, the golden age of crypto, then like you did yourself a disservice. So yeah, this is pretty significant news. Now will it happen? That's the big if, right? So the Fed is known for changing their mind as well. So